This video is about solving proportions algebraically and solving ratios in proportion applications. So the ratio of angles in a triangle is 369. Find the measure of the smallest angle. So remember yesterday when we talked about ratios that we are taking a fraction and reducing it by a common factor. So the angles here are not 3, 6, and 9. They were reduced to 3, 6, 9. So we're going to, with each part of our ratio, add an x and add them together. So all three angles, we have 3x, 6x, and 9x in our triangle. Remember that the angles in a triangle are 180 degrees. So we're going to add those together and we get 18x equals 180. So x is 10. Then we need to find the smallest angle measurement. Well, the smallest angle measurement is going to be the smallest ratio part, which is 3x. So we would have 3 times 10. So our smallest angle would be 30 degrees. Number 2, the sides of a triangle are in an extended ratio of 7, 4, and 9. So we have sides of a triangle now. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take each part of our ratio and add an x with it. So we have 7x plus 4x plus 9x. But this time we're not going to set it equal to 180 because it's the sides of the triangle. We're going to set it equal to the perimeter. So we set this equal to 260. We combine like terms and we get 20x equals 260, so we can divide by 20 on both sides and get that x is 13. Once we know x is 13, we need to find the shortest length. So the shortest length is the part of the ratio that's the smallest, 4x. So we would have 4 times 13, which would get us 52 inches for our shortest side. Number 3, the sides of a quadrilateral are in the extended ratio of 7, 4, 9, 3. The perimeter of the quadrilateral is 115 meters. Find the length of the longest side. So again, we're dealing with sides, so each ratio is still going to get an x with it, so 7x plus 4x plus 9x plus 3x. If we're dealing with sides, we're going to set it equal to the perimeter, which is 115 meters. I'm going to combine like terms. So 7 plus 4 plus 3 plus 9 gets us 23x equals 150. When we divide, we get that x is 5. Then we need to find the longest side. So the longest side is going to be the biggest part of the ratio, which in this case is the 9x. So we have 9 times 5, which gets us 45 meters. Number 4, in a rhombus, the ratio of two different angle measurements is 5 to 13. Find the measure of all angles in a rhombus. Okay, so this one's a little bit confusing, so let's draw a picture of a rhombus out. So remember that rhombuses have two sets of opposite angles that are congruent. So if we have one that's 5, we're going to say this is 5x, the other angle is 13x. Remember that the opposite angles are congruent, so we have another 13x and another 5x. So we're going to add all those together and set them equal to 360. Because remember, all the angles in a four-side figure are 360. So when we add those together, we get 36x equals 360. We can divide, and we get x is 10. So to find all the angle measurements, we're just going to multiply them by 10. So we have two angles that are 50 degrees and two angles that are 130 degrees. Number 5, in a pet store, the ratio of fish to birds is 20 to 3. If there are 24 birds, how many fish are there? So we are comparing fish to birds. So the first ratio would be 20 over 3. And we're going to set that equal to, we know that there's 24 birds, and birds is in our denominator. We're looking for how many fish there would be then. So now that we have a proportion, we are going to cross multiply. So we have 3 times x equals 20 times 24. So we get 3x equals 480. And when we divide by 3, we get that x is 160. So there would be 160 fish. Number 6, an ice cream parlor sells sundaes for $2.25 each. In 3 days, they sold 127 sundaes. If they continue this rate, how much money of sundaes will they make in the month of June? Okay, so first, we need to remember that there are 30 days in June. So right now, we're going to start by comparing sundaes to the number of days. So they sold 127 sundaes in 3 days. So we want to know how many sundaes are they going to sell in 30 days. So we're going to cross multiply 3 times x equals 127 times 30. So we get 3x equals 3,810, and we divide by 3, we get 1,270 sundaes. Then we want to know how much money are they going to make. So we know that each sundae is selling for $2.25. So we're going to do the number of sundaes they sold times $2.25. So off of just sundaes alone, they would make $2,857.50. Number 7, Tucker is working on his free throws. He made 14 out of 20 free throws so far. If Tucker continues this pattern, how many free throws will he make out of 110 shots? So we're comparing how many shots he's made out of taken. So far he has made 14 out of the 20 he's taken. If he shoots 110 free throws, how many total free throws will he make? So we're assuming that he's going to keep the pattern that he has so far, and we're going to cross multiply. So we get 20x equals 14 times 110. So we get 20x equals 1,450. Sorry, 1,540. And when we divide by 20, we get x is 77. So he would make 77 free throws. Number 8, Danielle works at a sandwich shop and earns $8.50 an hour. Summer is coming up and she wants to buy new tank tops. The Gap is having a sale and is selling 2 tank tops for $12.50. She wants 7 tank tops. How much is it going to cost her and how many hours will she have to work in order to purchase? So first we're going to compare how many shirts she wants, the tank tops, versus the cost. So we know that 2 tank tops cost $12.50. So how much do 7 tank tops cost? So we're going to put x in the denominator for our cost. So when we cross multiply, we get 2x equals 7 times 12.50, which gets us 2x equals $87.50. And we divide, we get $43.75. So if that's how much the shirts are going to cost, we need to know how many hours she needs to work. So we're going to take how much the cost of the shirts are, and we're going to divide by the pay that she makes. So they make $8.50 an hour. So when we divide, we get when we round 5.15 hours that she would have to work in order to be able to buy her shirts. Number 9, James gave his dad a model pirate ship for his birthday. The ratio of the models to the actual size is 2 inches to 125 inches. If the model is 16 inches long, 5 inches wide, and 3.5 inches tall, how many feet long, wide, and tall would the actual pirate ship be? So we have model to actual that we're trying to compare. So in the model, it's 2 inches. We're going to do the length, the width, and the height. So the length is 2 inches over 1,220 and 1,025 is equal to, we know that the length of the model is 16. We're looking for what the real length would be. So we have 2x equals 1,025 times 16, which is 16,400. We divide by 2, we get 8,200 inches. Remember that we want to convert this into feet, so we're going to divide by 12 inches, and we get 83.33 feet. Then we're going to do the same thing to find our length. We did our length, our width. So we have 2 over 1,225 equals 5 over x. So when we multiply, we get 2x equals 5,125. And when we divide, we get 2,562.5 inches. And then to figure out the feet, we're again going to divide by 12 inches. And when we divide by 12 inches, we get 213.54 feet. And then we're going to do the same thing looking for the height of the pirate ship. So we're going to do 2 over 1,225 equals 3.5 over x. So when we cross multiply, we get 2x equals 3,587.5. When we divide by 2, we get 1,793.75 inches. And again, we're going to convert that to feet. So we're going to divide by 12 inches. And we get 149.48 feet. Number 10, the ratio of guys to girls at the rock concert is 7-4. If there are a total of 13,750 people, how many more guys were there than girls at the concert? So we're going to take this ratio and we're going to put an x with each of those. So we have 7x plus 4x equals the total number of people that were at the concert. So we get 11x. And when we divide, we get x is 1,250. So to figure out our guys and girls, we're going to substitute in. So we have guys, which is 7 times 1,250, and we get 8,750. Then we're going to find the girls by doing 4 times 1,250, and we get 5,000. So to figure out how many more guys there were, we can subtract these two numbers, and we get, when we subtract 3,750 more guys at the concert.